Hello and welcome to part 10 of this series. In the last video I've used the compressor on two tracks, namely the cello and that we can see right here, the cello track. Here's the compressor, and we made it very subtle so it doesn't have the biggest impact and it's not really destroying the signal, so it just pushes it a little. And here on the snare drum, we've used the compressor to give it a little more punch and make it a little more brilliant, basically. So in this video, I want to talk about the volume automation. Automation in general is a tool that allows you to adjust certain parameters over time, and as the name suggests, automatically. And that can be very handy when you want to use a reverb that grows bigger, or you want to have a delay where the delay time varies. You can automate it so basically changes that parameter without you having to manually move the fader. And in this case we're going to use the volume automation because I want to prevent the use of another compressor on the trumpet, for example. The reason why I'm not going to use a compressor on the trumpet is that I want it to sound natural and as natural as possible. So I just want to even out the volume in the trumpet a little bit. And for that we can use automation, and one way of doing this is bringing up the automation track right here. And here you can see a line in the middle, and by selecting the drawing tool, which is this pencil right here, I can go ahead and draw basically the automation that I want. So my volume fader will correspond with that. But as you might remember, we have two trumpet tracks and we have routed them to this group right here. And that gives us the opportunity to basically edit both tracks with one automation. If I click the same button that I clicked in the audio channel track, it brings up the mute function. And that is because the volume fader is controlled directly on the group track. So that makes things even easier. Instead of using the paint tool to draw the automation, we also can use the read and the write button that you can see right here. By activating read and write, we basically tell the program to track our adjustments that we make on the volume fader or the panning faders. So now I will play back the track a little bit and use the volume fader to write the automation. Okay, so now I'm done, and I'm gonna deactivate the write option and keep the read button checked. This way Cubase will track the automation while playing back and basically adjust the volume in the same way I adjusted it manually. And as I said before, one option is to basically draw in the audio channel or draw onto the group channel right away. And just to demonstrate that real quick, I'm going to draw a random automation right here, and you can see it's basically right on the group channel track, and that gives a very nice overview if you have a lot of automations going at the same time. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the volume in this small section right here, and we're just gonna have a listen to this part and then use the automation. Okay, so after listening to that, I have a rough idea of where the volume is too much and where I just have to boost it a little. And what I always like to do is to put the group track that I'm going to write the automation on underneath the audio channels that will be influenced by this automation, so I can basically see at all times what is going on and where. And now it's time to adjust the volume of the trumpet a little. I'm going to use the read and write option and use the automation, the fader, to write the automation. So there we have it. This is roughly what I wanted. And in the next step, I would go in and fine tune the automation a little more, just using the mouse basically. Zoom in and then fine tune it. I hope this gives you an idea of how to work with automation and especially volume automation. And we're closing in on our final mix now. The next episode will be a look at the final mix. I will sit down with the pianist of the quartet and make a final version, adjust the mix that we have currently to his liking, because he's the customer, he should be happy, and then I'm gonna show you what we came up with. Thank you for watching again, and goodbye.